Did you know that one of the most brutal tyrants in history was just 26 years old when he died? His name was Cambyses, and he ruled over an empire that stretched from Central Asia to the Mediterranean Sea. But the question is, how long did he actually rule for? Well, let us take a look at this short but sweet ruler who changed the world in just a few years. Cambyses was born in 550 BC to Cyrus the Great and his wife Parysatis. His father was a legendary king who founded the Achaemenid Empire and established it as one of the greatest powers in the ancient world. He was known for his military prowess and for his ability to unite different peoples under one banner. Cyrus also had a reputation for being fair-minded and tolerant of other cultures. This made him very popular among his subjects and earned him the title of the Great. However, Cyrus's empire did not last forever, and when he died, he left the throne to his son Cambyses. Cambyses was only 27 years old when he inherited the vast and diverse empire that spanned from Central Asia to the Mediterranean Sea. It included territories such as Elam, Media, Lydia, and Babylon. The young king had big shoes to fill, and it would be interesting to see how he would handle the task of ruling such a large and complex realm. Before we dive into that though, let's quickly answer the main question of this video. How long did Cambyses actually rule for? Well, according to historical records, Cambyses II's reign lasted for only 7 years. He ascended to the throne in 530 BC after the death of his father, Cyrus the Great, and ruled until his own demise in 522 BC. Now that we know how long he ruled for, let's delve deeper into Cambyses' achievements and atrocities. He was ambitious and wanted to expand his empire even further. One of his first acts as emperor was to launch a campaign against Croesus, the wealthy ruler of Lydia. Cambyses defeated Croesus and absorbed Lydia into his empire, which was already impressive. But it didn't stop there. Cambyses continued his military campaigns beyond the Aegean Sea and into Thrace. There he faced the Scythians, a nomadic people who lived in the Eurasian steppes. The Scythians were fierce warriors, but Cambyses' army was able to defeat them and push them back. The exact extent of Cambyses' victories over the Scythians is debated among historians, but there's no doubt that he made significant gains against them. He also waged war against the Massagei, another nomadic tribe located north of the Caspian Sea. The Massagei were known for their equestrian skills and their ability to fight on horseback. Despite their proficiency in mounted combat, they were ultimately defeated by Cambyses' forces. But it wasn't all sunshine and roses for Cambyses. He faced opposition from within his own empire as well. The Babylonians, who had been loyal subjects of the Achaemenid Empire, revolted against Cambyses' rule. The rebellion was led by a man named Shamash-Shputer, who proclaimed himself king of Babylon. Cambyses put down the rebellion and punished the Babylonians harshly. He dismantled some of Babylon's impressive structures and defaced its sacred sites. Despite these setbacks, Cambyses continued to pursue his goal of expanding the empire. He launched a campaign against Egypt and easily conquered the country. The Egyptians were not prepared for the Achaemenid army, and Cambyses was able to capture major cities such as Memphis and Thebes. He then installed his governor, Psamtik, on the throne of Egypt. During his reign, Cambyses also undertook several building projects. He constructed palaces, temples, and other structures throughout his empire. One of his most notable accomplishments was the construction of a palace at Susa, which became the seat of the Achaemenid Empire. So what about the claim that Cambyses was a tyrant? What evidence do we have for this? Well, for starters, there are accounts of Cambyses torturing and murdering his enemies. He also reportedly unleashed poisonous snakes into the audience at the theater of Susa, killing many people. Additionally, Cambyses executed many members of the Persian nobility who were suspected of conspiring against him. One of the most infamous stories about Cambyses' tyranny involves his sister, Princess Parysatis. According to some sources, Cambyses ordered the execution of Parysatis because he believed she had insulted him. However, other accounts suggest that Cambyses killed his sister simply because he was jealous of her beauty. Whatever the reason, Cambyses had Parysatis put to death in a cruel and unusual way. He unleashed poisonous snakes into her tomb while she was still alive, and then he sealed the entrance to the tomb, leaving her to die a horrible and slow death. There's also the incident where Cambyses sent a letter to the Oracle of Delphi, the most revered oracle in the ancient Greek world. In the letter, Cambyses boasted about his military victories and challenged the oracle to match his achievements. However, when the oracle failed to respond to his letter, Cambyses became angry and sent a force to destroy the oracle's temple. It seems like Cambyses' reign was marked by paranoia and cruelty. He was constantly suspicious of his advisors and courtiers, and he executed many of them, without any real evidence of wrongdoing. In fact, one of the main reasons for the instability and eventual collapse of the Achaemenid Empire was Cambyses' inability to maintain order and stability within the vast realm. As if all of that wasn't enough, Cambyses also embarked on a bizarre and disturbing religious crusade. He decided to convert the entire empire to Zoroastrianism, a monotheistic religion that had originated in Persia. Cambyses forced his subjects to abandon their traditional beliefs and practices, and to convert to Zoroastrianism. He also persecuted those who refused to convert and executed many people for practicing their religions. In addition to his religious persecution, Cambyses also engaged in some truly bizarre behavior. For example, he hosted feasts inviting 8 men of every type, bald, short, or fat, as well as 8 female slaves. He chained them up and paraded them around in chariots like horses. It was truly a display of his strange and disturbing mindset. But perhaps the most shocking thing about Cambyses was his untimely demise. While on campaign against the Massagei, Cambyses' army suffered a catastrophic defeat. The details of the battle are sketchy, but it's believed that the Massagei ambushed the Achaemenid forces and killed or captured most of them. Cambyses himself was either killed in the battle or, according to some accounts, he took his own life to avoid capture. When news of Cambyses' death reached Susa, the capital of the Achaemenid Empire, there was no clear successor. The throne was eventually taken by Cyrus's brother, Cambyses II, who would later become known as Cyrus the Younger. Overall, Cambyses' reign was a period of great upheaval and change within the Achaemenid Empire. He expanded the empire to its greatest extent, but he also engaged in brutal campaigns of conquest and religious persecution. His bizarre behavior and paranoia ultimately contributed to the instability and decline of the empire. And that brings us to the end of this video. So how long did Cambyses rule for? Well, as we've discussed, his reign lasted for only 7 years, from 530 BC to 522 BC. Despite his short time on the throne, Cambyses made significant changes to the Achaemenid Empire that would have a lasting impact on its history. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. And if you have any thoughts or opinions on Cambyses' rule, please leave them in the comments below. We always appreciate hearing from you. Thank you for watching.